guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, and happy Wednesday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful week and a great day. As you can tell by the title, I'm finally going to break down this week's Bachelor episode. It was Hometowns. I watched it on Monday, and if I'm being completely honest, I was only halfway into it. So he didn't make a ton of notes, but I did rewatch it today, and I rewatched it tonight. I made my notes, so let's talk about it. Okay, so there's 4 hometowns: Juliana, Zoe, Latia, and Dina. Okay, so first up is Juliana. Juliana's hometown is in Newton, Massachusetts. She has a large Italian family. So the day, you know how during the day they have a little date and then they go meet the family. So during the day, she takes him to Little Italy in Newton. So they stop by, they make some pizzas. They make some pizzas at this local pizza shop that a ton of pizzas. So they're gonna take those over to the family. They go and make some bouquets, and then they get cannolis. I'm gonna tell you, a good cannoli, nothing better than a good cannoli. So she says basically she's nervous because she has only really brought home, this will be the second guy she's brought home. The first guy that she brought home, it didn't go so well. And after that ended, she got in a really dark place, like a really depressed, dark place. So she's nervous about that. And her family is nervous as well because her heart was broken so badly that she went to that dark place, to that depressed state. Okay, so he's meeting the family. It's a lot of family. Like a lot of Italian families, they have a lot to say, and they're very large. It's a large family. So she first of all sits down, talks to her sister. She's talking about how she feels safe with him. She thinks she can see her with him, and maybe he is her person. Her sister says, so they talk a little bit, and then after talking to Juliana, she says that she feels a little better, but the worries aren't completely gone because there are 3 other women, and she's just worried about Juliana getting her heart broken again and what that would do to her. So Grant talks to her mom, and then talks to the dad. But when he talks to the mom, the main thing that he says that they bonded over really was how each of them were alone, how they felt alone. Growing up as in childhood. So he then talks to her dad, and her dad comes right out and says, you know, we have a problem here because, and I'm thinking, says we have a problem here because he can tell how much his daughter really likes Grant, and he's just worried really about his protecting his daughter just in case she gets her heart broken. He's really worried about that because it happened before. Grant says he's really falling for Juliana, and what draws him to her is like her character and her loyalty. And he says to him, you know, he shared that the thing that he respects the most about him is that he held it together for the family. He held the family together because he respects that because he comes from a family where there was divorce. And listen, Juliana talks to her dad. Her dad really loves him. He said, I love the guy. And one thing that he really liked is that he sees that Grant wants to build. He wants to build and grow this relationship, and that if there's problems, then they're going to tackle them together. And he liked that. So after, they leave the family, He tells Juliana he's fallen in love. He's falling for her. She's falling for him, and it went excellently. It went very well. In the editing, it made it seem like whenever they kissed, and Dad was like, "You're kissing my daughter," but he was fine with it. Everybody loved him, and it went super well, very well. Okay, next up, meeting Zoe in New York City. Now, Zoe did not grow up in New York City. However, it is where she lives. It's the city that has really shaped her as a woman and to be the woman that she is today. So really, this is now their one-on-one date, which it still is odd to me that she made it this far without a one-on-one. So for their day date, what they're doing is they're going to have a photo shoot. It's a wedding photo shoot. And she wants to show him what like her daily life is like what it is, what it feels like to do what she does, and give him a little insight into that. So they're doing this wedding themed photo shoot. And he feels like, at first he feels like it's a little too early to be doing something like this, because there's 3 shoots. There's the engagement, there's the proposal, there's the engagement photos, and the wedding photos. And listen, he thinks it's a little too early, but I can see what she's doing. She's like, let's put this in his head. Let's just get it nestled in there. And I mean, when he sees her in that wedding dress, she looks stunning. She looks gorgeous. And by the end of it, he's like, Zoe fits right in with me. So maybe it did work. She says that they'll be meeting her family, but her adopted family will not be there. Like, her mom and dad won't be there, but they'll be meeting her sister and her aunt and uncle. Once again, I have it written here, still odd that Zoe got to hometowns without having a one-on-one, but they talk about that a little bit later. So they meet the family. Zoe talks to her aunt and uncle first. The thing that she likes most about him is that he's not intimidated by her. She's a strong woman. He's not intimidated by the fact that she models, that she's like in the tech, that she has a job in tech. And he's just very, very supportive. She then talks to her sister. Her sister is a little concerned by the fact that everyone else, all the other ladies who made it this far, have had one-on-ones, and she didn't. She's a little concerned about that. So when she talks to Grant, she basically just comes out and is like, hey, why did my sister not get a one-on-one? And what got her to this point right now without that? And he said basically that he felt like either she didn't get one because he felt like either he was holding back or she was holding back. But that was all cured by, it seems like that was all cured by like a couple conversations. And now they're at that stage where they're caught up and they're right on schedule, which I know he said that, but I don't know about that. I don't think that they are on the same level as, say, Latia or Juliana, who I think are going to be the final 2. Okay, so after that, everything went well. Everybody is very, very impressed with him. So at the end of it was another very good family meeting. And later off camera, he says he could see a future with Zoe. Okay, so next up was Latia. Latia is Mormon, so I was thinking that they were going to be in Utah, but after her grandmother passed away, that really wasn't home for them. So now they're in Wyoming. This was beautiful at their ranch. On the day date, they went horseback riding. That to me, the two of them felt like the most comfortable. Like if you're just watching this and you don't know what the premise of this show is, or if somebody just showed you these four women with Grant, out of the four of them, this seemed like the two of them seemed like the most comfortable and like the most like, we're peeking into the day in a life of like a couple that have been dating for a while, you know, they've been together for a while or are married. It just seemed like a comfortability and an ease between the two of them. But she reveals off camera, she hasn't told him how she feels, just because she's worried, like, what if it doesn't work out, which I completely understand. She tells him that she is nervous about him meeting the family, because he's the first man that she's going to be bringing home who is not Mormon. And she does say off camera that, like, if her family doesn't accept him, it's going to be a deal breaker. It's going to be sad, but it's going to be a deal breaker. And he tells her that my faith has always been huge for me and has been something that has grounded me. But because his mom was like very strict with religion, it kind of gave him a narrow view on it. But he says he doesn't really know a lot about the Mormon religion, but he's going to go in with an open heart and open mind, which is exactly what you need to do. So meeting a family. This was not a family. This was like two football teams. This was crazy. Also, tug of war. I was like, what is this? Tug of war, and then they all fall on him. I mean, you put him at the anchor and then he falls. No, I was like, no, thank you. However, I'll take one of those dirty sodas. I mean, I felt like I was watching, what was it? Mormon Housewives. What did I think of Mormon Housewives? Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. That's what it was. So Grant talks to the dad. And listen, going into this, I got the vibes that like, this is not going to go well. Like, they're going to be like, you're not Mormon, forget it. No, screw you, get out. However, he was talking to Grant. He tells Grant, listen, I'm impressed by what I see, and you have good values, and I'm not going to hold it against you if you're not Mormon, which surprised the hell out of me. That really surprised me quite a bit. He also talks to her mom. He says, hey, I'm falling in love with your daughter. And once again, she's another person. It's like, we have no expectations of you coming into the family. There's no expectations, which I was like, this is awesome. But then there's another part of me that's like, you're saying this now, but like, is that true? I mean, it probably is, but there's another part of me, like I said, that's like, I don't know about that. Listen, both the mom and dad went hard on the fact that Latia wants kids, like a lot of children, because a lot of children, like her father had said, a lot of children is the norm in their family. So, and when he was like 4 or 5, Grant's face looked, he didn't look worried, but he was kind of like, like, uh-oh, get to cracking. I'm gonna tell you, my favorite family member out of her family was Grandpa Jerry. Jerry was just so sweet and so wholesome. Listen, I loved Grandpa Jerry, but when she told him, I wanna tell you something. I haven't told anybody else this, but she thinks she loves him. That was so sweet. The two of them. I'm going to tell you, they better not do this because he had the oxygen. They better not do this because if at any point during any of these next shows we find out something happened to Grandpa Jerry, I'm for real going to be crying tears of sadness like I lost a family member. I thought he was so sweet. But after the date, she does it. She takes the jump and she says she's fallen in love with him. And guess what? He's fallen in love with her too. I thought it was so adorable when they were riding horses and they were like, he was like, do you have a nickname? What do they call you? And it's TT. And he kept calling her TT. I thought that was so sweet. Okay. So lastly, it was Dina's hometown in Chicago. Okay. So I did not write down what they did on the day date. But here's the main thing. She says that her dad is very religious. So the family won't be meeting him today because they're against her going on this TV show to meet someone because he is dating other women. So he won't be meeting the family. He'll be meeting her friends, which is like her chosen family. And I can see why he would say this is concerning. It's concerning to him because how is he really supposed to see if he fits in with the family? Like, how are you going to propose to someone who you've never even met their family? You don't know if you fit in with family. And that's an important thing. So, and now she's worried that maybe this is going to set her back and make it look like they're not as far along. Okay, I made some notes. Now, okay, so the parents aren't there, but she has like 10 siblings. So none of them, do they all disapprove or what? But then I was thinking about it more. And listen, it's the norm for this show for families to be like, yes, we accept this. But I don't know that it's all that odd for a family not to want to just be on national TV. There's some people that are private people that just don't want that. So that I can understand. And if you are very religious, like I think she had said that he's not a priest. He's very big in the church, I guess. And this is not the traditional way to date. So I mean, I can understand that. I mean, maybe, and who knows, maybe she threw it on them at the last minute that she was going on this. Either way, I don't think, at the time I had a feeling that I was like, I have a feeling Dina's going to be going home this week. So they meet the friends. They have she has a bunch of friends. They meet the friends. Everything. Well, wait a minute. Before going into that, meeting the friends, he's worried that without meeting the family, they might not be able to get to where they need to be. Okay, so that's before. So meets the friends. Everything goes great, and it seems like a little bit of the fear and concern for him is alleviated. So maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it's not a deal breaker. So the ladies then all get together for the four final ladies get together. They talk about their hometown. Everybody else is talking about how, oh, he met my family and, Dina's, or not Dina, You can see the wheels turning. You can see them. Juliana's like, my whole family was there. There were tons of people. Latia's like, yes, my whole family was there, and everybody's meeting the family. And then there's Dina, and you can see that Dina is getting like a little sad, and she's getting nervous because all the other ladies have had such great dates, and they got to meet, and Grant got to meet their families, and bonds were made, and she's like, oh, you can tell. She's like, oh no, this isn't going to go great. I think at that point, maybe she had to have been like, maybe it's not my week. So also, Grant meets up with Joey Graziday. Listen, I'm going to tell you, Joey for me will be one of the best, if not the best bachelors they've ever had. Joey Graziday was the best. So they meet up, and he gets some advice from Joey. And Joey tells him, listen, Grant, listen to your gut. I know there's a lot going on, but listen to your gut. I did, and that's what made me pick Kelsey, who they're still together. So yay. But they are gorgeous together. And they're perfect together, but he listened to his gut. So the rose ceremony. Okay. I picked all three, and I picked all three in order. So it was Latia, Juliana, and then Zoe. No surprise, Dina had gone home. I think it's what ultimately did her in was not meeting the family. Because even though Zoe didn't get a hometown, he did get to meet the family, and without meeting the family, it's tough to see if you would fit in with that family. It's impossible to see if you would fit in with that family, because he fit in well with Dina's friends, but if you can't get along with the in-laws, it's gonna be tough. So, like I said, ultimately not meeting the family, I think, is what did Dina in. But I'm gonna tell you, Dina was a very classy lady. He walked her out, and they talked for a little bit. She got in the car. She did not cry, but she had said basically, listen, if I wasn't getting the rose tonight, then it's not for me. And she didn't want the rose if this wasn't her person. Like, she didn't want to get the rose and then go further and further only to have her heart broken. You know, I think that's very classy. I think that's a very mature way to think about it. So good for you. Next week is the Women Tell All. And the thing that's going to be weird is that they're not going to be announcing the next Bachelor, because there's not going to be a Bachelor. I had heard, this is a rumor. I had heard a rumor today, and like I said, allegedly, it's just a rumor. Allegedly, there were like two women that they had, that there were two women that they had offered it to. One supposedly was Rachel Recchia, which that's it. No, don't do it. She was given like 3 chances. She was on the Bachelor. She was on the Bachelorette. She was on Bachelor in Paradise. No, that's it. Retired. And then the other woman that they had asked, who was a huge fan favorite from Joey's season, was it Joey's season? Yeah, Joey's season. Maria. Everybody loved Maria. Like, she was a fan favorite. So, and apparently they asked her, and she had said no. So a lot of people also, I had heard floating the name of Alana Marr, who is on the women's rugby team, Dancing with the Stars, awesome lady, body positivity champion. I would love to see Alana Marr on there. I love Alana Marr. I would absolutely die. Would love to see her on there. And she has said that she would do it. So I don't, but she's playing in another country. So that's not something that's going to be done. So it's going to be odd not to see the next Bachelorette. I really would like for them to announce who the next Golden Bachelor is going to be. And then in 2 weeks, it's the finale. Listen, heading into this, Latia's biggest fear is that Grant is going to sleep with some of the other women. Who was that pulled that got upset about that? I think it was Susie or something. Anyways, yeah. So if he gets intimate with the other two women, that's going to be a problem for her. So we shall see. In the comments, let me know if you watched. If you did, what you thought. Who do you think is going to be the final two? I think it most definitely is going to be, it's absolutely going to be Juliana and Latia. So there we go. I think I can see him more with Latia, I think. But I like Juliana too. But I think he's the most natural and the most comfortable with Latia. Okay, so listen, if nobody told you yet today, you're loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there so that it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another. Be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Hydrate often with water, which is what I need to do. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are always sending out our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy so you can make it through. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for some Beverly Hills. Bye, guys.